morning. I'm here to talk to you about thankfulness. As we approach Thanksgiving and as we approach the Advent season, I've been reviewing with my students in high school the Christmas story from Luke. And I was drawn to what Mary experienced, a blessing wrapped in funny wrapping paper. We know she was blessed. She received the word from the angel of the Lord. She proclaimed it herself when she saw Elizabeth, and Elizabeth's baby said it as he jumped in her womb when she drew near. And although I don't have a similar story, I do have a story about a time when the Lord blessed me with funny wrapping paper. It didn't look like a blessing at the time. Only in hindsight could I see it. I was working at a non-Christian school at the time, and I all of a sudden lost my job. The school closed, and it closed in the middle of July. Now, if you know a teacher's work year, we begin work in August. So I lost my job, as did many teachers in that school, about 3 weeks before the opening of classes. I was devastated, and I knew that God would protect us and bless us, but going through it day by day was a little hard. It was shocking, and it took me a little while for it to set in. It took me quite a while to forgive those people who did this when during graduation they knew what was coming down and they didn't let us know. I thought that was not very nice of them. And then it took me into a path where I doubted who I was. And I'm an adult now. This happened about 13 years ago. I was a fully formed adult who had many years of experience with the Lord, but it drove me into a crisis of identity. I couldn't say that I was a teacher because I didn't have students to teach. I didn't have a job. And so what was I? Who was I? And luckily, I dove into the word of the Lord. And it led me to Psalm 77, verses 1 to 3. And it says, I cried out to God for help. I cried out to God to hear me. When I was in distress, I sought the Lord at night. I stretched out untiring hands, and my soul refused to be comforted. I remembered you, O God, and I groaned. I mused, and my spirit grew faint. And that's how I felt. I was devastated. I was searching. I was praying for hours on end every day and looking to see where I could find a job and where my identity was. Luckily, God doesn't leave us in despair for very long. And so in verses 11 to 14, it says, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will meditate on all your works and consider all your mighty deeds. Your ways, O God, are holy. What God is so great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles and displays your power among the peoples. And that brought me great comfort to go back to the Psalms, to scriptures, and remember time and again who he is. And it led me to remember that there is a time for fasting and praying. And so it led me to Ezra 8:23, where it says, if I could find it, it is talking about the return to Jerusalem of the people of the Lord from captivity, and it says, so we fasted and petitioned our God about this, and he answered our prayer. Oh, yes, that is what happened in my life. I fasted, I prayed. I had many praying for me, the whole church, maybe. And he answered my prayer. In 1 Chronicles 5:20, it says, they were helped in fighting that, well, it goes on to say, he answered their prayers because they trusted in him. And for several months, I battled with the Lord a little bit, but in all the times I trusted him and he answered my prayers. I was able to find a job in a Christian school, which was my dream since becoming a teacher. And guess what? It was right around the corner from my house. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing dressed in funny paper, because all those months, and it took 6 months worth of struggling, trying to find a job, and finally landing one in a great Christian school, which I'm still at. It was a struggle, but the struggle was worth it. And so if you're struggling with anything, trust in the Lord, fast and pray, and then give him thanksgiving. I read to my students a Bible verse that Jimmy wrote about, 1 Thessalonians 5, and where it says, paraphrasing, if you want to know the will of God, give thanks. Give thanks in everything, and you will know his will, because through fasting, praying, and giving thanks, we enter into his realm, his kingdom, and he brings his kingdom to us in our hearts, in our minds, and he makes a path straight for us to walk in. God bless you as you celebrate this Thanksgiving season and this Advent season.
Are you hurting and broken within, overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Leave behind your regrets and mistakes. Come today, there's no reason to wait. Jesus is calling. Bring your sorrows and trade them for joy. From the ashes a new life is born. Jesus is calling. Come to altar. Isn't he wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. What a Savior. Isn't he wonderful? Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah. Christ is risen. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness is bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. So come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness is bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Bear your cross as you wait for the crown. Tell the world